Today, we're going to see how fast we can beat Pokemon Blue using only Galarian Zapdos. Rules are in the description. So like in the last video, I want to say that the front and back sprites aren't mine. They're from the Polished Crystal repository on GitHub. I'll leave a link down below. And before we dive into the move pool and how I came up with it, I want to talk about Galarian Zapdos' stats and how it compares to the Cantonian version. And while Cantonian Zapdos has 125 base special for Gen 1 purposes and 125 base special attack in later generations, the Galarian version has 125 base physical attack, and their stats pretty much line up the same with a few things switched around. For Gen 1 purposes, I decided to go with the 90 base special defense as its special stat. Of course, the Galarian version is also part fighting type, which means Brock is going to be pretty simple, and that will allow me to just quickly cover the move pool. Just like with Articuno, Zapdos got shafted when it came to the TMs, losing both Thunderbolt and Thunder. But there is a TM on this list that our Strong Legs Pokemon will be picking up later. And like with Articuno, I looked at its level up learn set from Gen 8 and went from there. It starts with Peck, Focus Energy, and Rock Smash. 2 out of 3 are already in Generation 1, and I replaced Rock Smash with Low Kick since they are similar in power. It then learns Pluck at level 15, Agility at level 20, and Ancient Power at level 25. Only one of these exists in Gen 1, so I had to get a little creative. I replaced Pluck with Wing Attack. While for Gen 1 purposes they aren't similar in power, I felt like Wing Attack was the best one-for-one to go for. And as far as Ancient Power, once again I'm going to be replacing it with Rock Throw, and if you're wondering why, check out the Articuno video. I go into details there. Also, quick side note before I go back into the move details, look at this annoying NPC. It's fitting that as I try to pass by him, I get an encounter, but back to the moves. From there it learns Brick Break at level 30, which I've substituted Jump Kick for, Drill Peck at level 35, and to substitute Quick Guard at level 40, I gave it Quick Attack. Now is where we get into the good stuff. At level 45 and 50, it learns Thunderous Kick, which is its signature move that I've backported, and Bulk Up, which I've replaced with Meditate. At 55 it learns Counter, 60 Detect, 65 Close Combat, and 70 Reversal, which I've just put Counter and High Jump Kick on its moveset as replacements. Just like its Cantonian counterpart, it's going to finish the game well before level 60. Now let's hop into the playthrough. Unlike with Articuno, I am going to pick up one optional battle with Zapdos. In testing, Brock actually can defeat you on minimum battles. Of course, you can also defeat him on minimum battles, but I just had the shittiest luck. And you'll see that shit luck firsthand in this playthrough multiple times. Like with Peck still not being able to one-shot these weak bugs, even though we do get stab super effective damage from it. Although in this battle I did get 2 critical hits, so I guess I shouldn't complain too much. I defeat the one mandatory bug catcher at the end of the forest, and from here I'm going to go straight to Brock. And you're gonna see firsthand how it's possible to lose to Brock at level 6 or 7. Low Kick is a 3-hit KO on the Geodude, and in testing, I was getting crit multiple times by this thing. Against Onix, Low Kick is a 4-hit KO, and you are speed tied with it, and in this battle, it wins the speed tie 3 times. Now I know I sound like a broken record to this point, but in testing, this thing would go for Bide, getting the outspeed, it would get a 2-turn Bide, and then it would knock me out, or it would go for Screech, and then hit me with Tackle, doing a lot of damage, then just outspeed me on the next turn and knock me out. But thankfully in this battle, I'm able to get by Brock on my first try, and this isn't a dead run. One early advantage that Galarian Zapdos has over Galarian Articuno is the fact that it's able to one-shot all of these early bug Pokemon. I didn't show this off in Articuno's video because I spoke over it and also blurred the screen as I talked about its stats, but you'll see that it's just missing the one-shot on the Caterpies, although it is able to one-shot Weedle thanks to it being part poison type. In Mount Moon, I'm gonna go over a sequence of events. The first is I battle this optional Lass with the Clefairy because I can knock it out quickly for decent experience. I encounter a Paris early on, and this thing won't stay inside the damn ball. I use 8 total balls when trying to catch this thing, and it brings Zapdos to under half health in the process. I pick up this rare candy, battle the Lass with the Oddish and Bellsprout. I battle the Rocket Grunt with a single Raticate who has pretty good experience, and by the time I knock out the Super Nerd's Voltorb at the end of Mount Moon, Zapdos reaches level 15 and can learn Wing Attack. which I'm going to delete Focus Energy for. I take the Dome Fossil, and like I did with Articuno, I'm going to battle the rival and go through Nugget Bridge before proceeding to Misty. Pidgeotto's a 3-hit KO with Low Kick, and it doesn't use Sand Attack on me, which is good, but it is able to take away about a third of my health before I knock it out. Abra and Rattata are free knockouts, and last is Charmander. I went with this line today because Charizard will resist our fighting type attacks, but in this battle, Charmander just gets critically hit by Low Kick one-shotting it. Nugget Bridge is not a problem for Zapdos. Having 3 out of my 4 moves give me the same type attack bonus, along with plenty of PP. I skip the hiker that guards the hidden elixir, and I've got plenty of PP by the time I battle the last before Bill's house. And by the time I defeat the junior trainer in Misty's gym, Zapdos levels up to 20 and can learn agility, which I will delete Peck for. Misty is a trainer where Cantonian Zapdos would have no problem zapping her stars. How will our Galarian aggressive Big Bird fare against the water type specialist? Staryu is first, and I'm actually going to set up Light Screen first to lessen the damage from Starmie's attacks when it comes out. I also set up 2 Agility to make sure I outspeed and for badge boost purposes. For some reason I choose Wing Attack on Staryu, maybe I thought it was part Psychic type, but 2 Wing Attacks knock it out. Against Starmie, I'm going to continue using Wing Attack, and even after an X Defend, it's still a 4-hit KO. It thankfully doesn't crit with Bubble Beam or Water Gun, and you see just how little they do thanks to Light Screen. While there was a bit of a misplay on Staryu on my part, there was no danger of ever losing this battle. There's nothing of interest that happens between Cerulean and Vermilion, so we're going to jump cut straight to the SSN. And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like Sword and Shield, but for those that have played the game, explain to me why this thing can't learn Body Slam. It definitely looks like it should. The fact that it can run really fast, I'm sure it would slam into something very, very hard. By the way, thank you Psycho for letting me use footage from your video. I greatly appreciate it. Let's pick things back up on the SSN though, where we have another battle against our rival. And Low Kick and Wing Attack are more than enough to deal with his entire team. I will say I was surprised that it took 2 Wing Attacks to knock out Kadabra, and if Charmeleon were to burn you in this battle, then it's a run killer. And with the rival defeated, the only thing left to do is to battle Lieutenant Surge. Hopefully Low Kick is enough for his electric type Pokemon. Voltorb is first, and I get a flinch with my first Low Kick, and I'm able to knock it out on the next turn. Pikachu goes down in 1 Low Kick, and last is Raichu. And once again, Low Kick gets another flinch, allowing me to knock it out over 2 turns. With how Articuno fared against Surge, I was expecting this to possibly give me a reset, but Zapdos holds strong. In a normal Zapdos run, this is the part where I'd normally teach Thunderbolt, but unfortunately our Galarian form bird can't learn it. But you know where Thunderbolt would come in handy? Against the Pokemaniacs in Rock Tunnel and their damn Slowpokes. I actually almost take a reset to the very first Pokemaniac in Rock Tunnel. Its confusion looks like about a 5-hit, but it actually confuses Zapdos, and hitting myself once brings me down to 23 HP by the time the battle's over. But there's a second Pokemaniac you have to face, and this one, like the first one, confuses Zapdos. While my second Wing Attack barely misses the knockout range, Slowpoke's able to chip me down, I hit myself, and it knocks me out. And I decided to take the Blackout, mainly because I couldn't remember when my last save was, but reviewing this footage, my last save was right before Surge, and since in-game time is my metric, resetting and just going back to Surge wouldn't have been too bad. I'm gonna touch more on that in Moltres' video. Anyway, in the next battle I get much better luck. I don't get confused by the Slowpoke, I crit it once and I'm able to 3-shot it. The self-destructing hiker is not a problem, Low Kick is able to one-shot his entire team, and I beeline it straight to Celadon. Remember in the beginning of the run when I hinted at a TM that Zapdos would use? Well, that TM is TM05 Mega Kick. While our Sesame Street bird on steroids can't learn Body Slam, a 120 base power normal move for the Pokemon that's called the Strong Legs Pokemon might come in handy, although 75% accuracy and 5 PP kinda suck, but we can make do. After I finish selling all the TMs I don't need, I get Fly from the Girl West outside of town, and then I head to the Rocket Game Corner to take on Giovanni. All 3 of his Pokemon are weak to Low Kick, and all 3 of them are 2-shots with Low Kick. If only I was level 30 for this battle and had Jump Kick. But speaking of wishing I had a certain move, if only this thing learned Drill Peck at level 30 instead of level 35, that would make Erica's gym especially easy. I think Wing Attack should be enough to get me by though. Victory Bell is first. Wing Attack does not one-shot it, and it hits me with Wrap, but thankfully it's only a 3-turn Wrap. Once the attack wears off, Wing Attack is able to knock it out, and her remaining 2 Pokemon also go down in 2 Wing Attacks, doing a total of 7 HP worth of damage to me in the process. The rival at Pokemon Tower is next. I one-shot his entire team with either Wing Attack, Jump Kick, or Mega Kick. It's bad when the rockets at the top of Pokemon Tower scare you more than the rival fight. This first Zubat confuses me. While I'm able to knock it out, I hit myself twice against the second Zubat, bringing myself to 55 HP in the process. Wing Attack one-shots it, and now I have to deal with a Golbat. Mega Kick barely misses the one-shot range as it confuses me with Supersonic, and right on cue I hit myself. This could have went sideways, but thankfully I get through confusion and knock it out. Unfortunately for me, the only healing item I have in my inventory is the freshwater that I plan on using to get into Saffron, so I've got to get through 6 Pokemon with 37 HP. And while I am saving before each of these battles because of that, I could just backtrack to the healing square in Pokemon Tower, but that will waste time. Thankfully, I don't have any resets against these trainers and I don't need to backtrack. Zapdos is able to get through it. After Pokemon Tower, I make my way to Cycling Road towards Fuchsia City. I'm going to pick up the rare candy, and I'm not going to bother trying to find the PP up. Once I arrive in Fuchsia, I'm going to head straight to the Safari Zone. Aside from getting the Gold Teeth and Surf, I am going to pick up a protein. I failed to mention it earlier, but I actually didn't buy any vitamins for Zapdos when in Celadon. Even after selling off all my items and buying Mega Kick, I just didn't have that much money left over. And while I could backtrack to Celadon to buy vitamins if I wanted to, I really don't want to waste the time to. But let's go ahead and jump to Koga's gym. There are 2 mandatory trainers before facing him, both jugglers with psychic types. And if I'm showing you this battle, then you know something happened. While I'm able to one-shot Drowsy with Mega Kick, I only have 1 PP of it left, and that final PP misses on the Hypno. I switched to Wing Attack because I think it's going to be my best bet, and thanks to a crit, it's going to be a 4-hit KO. But Hypno confuses Zapdos with Confusion, and just like against the Pokemaniacs, Zapdos hits itself in Confusion, and Hypno is able to finish me off the next turn. And just like I did with the Pokemaniacs, I'm forced to take a blackout because I can't remember my last save. And reviewing the footage, it was Pokemon Tower. I do get my revenge against Hypno in the next battle, although its Confusion does about 1/3 to me. Because I have no healing items in my inventory, I do have to backtrack to the Pokemon Center, which does waste time. Although before healing up, I decide to bite the bullet and use the 2 PP ups in my inventory on Mega Kick. Hopefully no more PP problems from here. And finally, we can take on Koga and hopefully get our 5th gym badge. He leads with Coughing. I want to get some agility set up just for badge boost purposes. After setting up 2, I try to go on the offensive, but Mega Kick just misses, and it hits me with Smoke Screen. From here, I just miss continuously while getting poisoned. I don't even make it by the first Coughing, and before it has a chance to knock me out, I just take the quick reset. In the next battle, Mega Kick does about 2/3 to Coughing, and Wing Attack unfortunately can't finish it off. Because of this, it hits me with a weak tackle and I knock it out. But we level up to 35 and now we can learn Drill Peck, an immediate upgrade over Wing Attack that will hopefully help us win this battle. Muck is next and I put Drill Peck straight into action, doing over half to it. However, its Sludge gets a critical hit, bringing me to under half. Drill Peck can't finish it and it poisons me with Poison Gas. While I finish it off the next turn, while being poisoned with under half health, I don't see Zapdos winning this. Mega Kick does 2/3 to Coughing number 2, I take poison damage, it uses Smog, I knock it out the next turn, and last is Wheezing. I need some luck here. Mega Kick does what looks like a quarter, Wheezing retaliates with Sludge, and that's another reset. Since I level up after knocking out his first Coughing, I decided to battle a Tamer in his his gym just so I can reach level 35. And after the battle, I'm going to pop rare candies to bring myself to level 40, and I'm going to skip learning Quick Attack. Now that I'm 5 levels higher, Mega Kick nearly one-shots the first Coughing, as Koga just uses an X attack. We knock it out on the next turn, but how much damage will I do to Muck? Well, Drill Peck does over half, and it gets another critical hit with Sludge. Are you kidding me? I can finish it with Drill Peck on the next turn as Coughing number 2 comes out. Mega Kick nearly gets the one-shot as its Sludge poisons me. I swear, Koga's getting all the luck in this battle. I finish it off on the next turn, but I don't think 54 HP is enough to deal with Wheezing. Mega Kick looks like it's going to be a 3 to 4 hit KO. Thankfully, Wheezing goes for its weakest attack, Smog. Mega Kick gets a better damage roll as Koga uses an X attack, and I go for Drill Peck because I don't want to miss on this thing. This battle was so frustrating, and the fact that I had to take a blackout before Koga just adds to that frustration. This battle reminded me of when I was a kid playing Yellow version. Of course, Koga has a completely different team in Yellow, but it reminded me how his Venonats seem to always get lucky and always have the clutch moment when they needed it, like a critical hit when it matters the most, or putting you to sleep with Sleep Powder. If we were playing Cantonian Zapdos, I would probably head to Cinnabar Island next, but with the Galarian form, I'm going to head to Silphco. I head straight to the 10th floor to battle the Rocket Grunt with the Machoke so I can get the Carbos and the rare candy. And from here, I'm going to battle the one mandatory grunt for the card key and then take on the rival. And this battle is actually really easy for Zapdos. Drill Peck gives me a 2-shot on the Pidgeot and it's able to one-shot the Execute. While I do set up Agility against Gyarados for badge boost purposes, it just uses Leer and then Dragon Rage on me before a single Mega Kick knocks it out. Drill Peck one-shots Alakazam, and his Charizard just goes for Rage while my second Mega Kick knocks it out. And as for Giovanni, I kick all of his Pokemon's ass, literally. Jump Kick gives me super effective damage on Kangaskhan and Rhyhorn, while Mega Kick are more than enough for both Nidorino and Nidoqueen. Alright, we have to wrap up business in Saffron with Sabrina. All 4 of her Pokemon are capable of dealing super effective damage and confusing Zapdos. And with the luck I've had so far against Pokemaniacs and Jugglers, I could see this one being a pain. I shouldn't have played an intro for this one. Drill Peck one-shots her entire team. Perhaps my luck is starting to turn around. I'm going to jump straight ahead to Blaine because there's nothing of interest that happens from surfing to Cinnabar to Pokemon Mansion. Jump Kick is able to one-shot his first 2 Pokemon. Against Rapidash, it does well over 3/4 as it just hits me with Stomp and I knock it out the next turn. Last is Arcanine, which doesn't even land an attack on me because Fire Blast misses, and a combination of Jump Kick and Mega Kick finishes it. Viridian City Gym time. Not only is Zapdos close to getting a badge boosting move, but it's also close to learning its signature move. Against this black belt, as soon as Zapdos knocks out this Machoke, it levels up to 45 and can learn Thunderous Kick, a 90 base power stab move that will always lower the target's defense by 1 stage when it hits. Now I will admit, I did not backport this effect. Why? Because I didn't know how at the time when I made this backport, but since making another Pokemon backport, I figured out how to do it. One day I'll run this again with Thunderous Kick having its full effect, and I'll be sure to update the patch file for anybody that wants to play this. Well, all that's left is the final battle with Giovanni. I don't expect him to give Zapdos any trouble. Giovanni's first 2 Pokemon are no problem. They both go down to a Thunderous Kick. Nidoqueen is a 2-shot with Mega Kick as it softens me up with Tail Whip while also badge boosting me. But things fall apart at Nidoking. Mega Kick misses, it hits me with Thrash, doing decent damage. My second Mega Kick misses, Thrash brings me to 51 HP, and Mega Kick nearly one-shots it, but Thrash gets a critical hit, knocking me out. Are you kidding me? Because I didn't save before this battle, and my last save is before Blaine, I'm going to take another blackout. In the next battle, I get fully set up with Agility before I start going on the offensive. I do have 6 rare candies in my inventory, but I'd rather save them for before the league. Although popping 5 here so that Zapdos could learn Meditate and set up that way probably would have made this a lot easier. And even though I level up after knocking out the Rhyhorn, this time around, Giovanni is no problem. But what about the rival battle before the league? Well, Pidgeot is no problem. Its wing attack, even though super effective, does pathetic damage. And after we knock it out, we level up, which means I can set up freely on Rhyhorn. And after full setup, his team isn't to challenge, and we level up at the very end of the battle as well. In Victory Road, I'm gonna opt to pick up the rare candy, bringing my total to 6. I made a mistake earlier in the run saying that I had 6 at Giovanni, but that's what I get for fast forwarding through footage and not really checking everything. I'm also not going to pick up any optional battles in Victory Road. Really, the only league members that I think could give Zapdos a problem are Lorelei and possibly Agatha. While Thunderous Kick will give us super effective damage on Lorelei, it's also 90% accurate. And as we know, Agatha can troll us with Hypnosis, Dream Eater, and Confuse Ray. Of course, we know Lance is going to be a gimme since we're part fighting type. Once I arrive at the league, I'm going to pop all 6 of my rare candies to go from 48 to 54, and at level 50, we can learn Meditate, which I'll gladly delete Agility for. Due to player error earlier in this run, Zapdos isn't going to beat Articuno's time, but let's see how well it does finish. I was completely wrong about Lorelei in my prediction. Thunderous Kick is able to one-shot her first 2 Pokemon. Because of Slowbro's AI, it's just going to spam Amnesia on me, so I can set up freely and sweep the rest of her team. Bruno is next. I have Thunderous Kick for his rock types and Drill Peck for the fighting types. We can move on to Agatha. Something that surprised me about this battle is that Drill Peck does not one-hit the Gengar. Because of that, it's able to get off a Nightshade, doing about a quarter as we knock it out on the next turn. I get nervous with Golbat because we miss Mega Kick and it confuses us with Confuse Ray. Luckily, we hit the next one-shotting it, thanks to the crit. I don't hit myself in confusion and I'm able to one-shot Haunter and move on to the Arbok. It's able to deal a little bit of chip damage to me because my first Mega Kick misses, but the second one connects, one-shotting it. All that's left is her final Gengar. Now watch this luck. Drill Peck doesn't get the one-shot. It confuses me. I hit myself. Super Potion, I hit myself again, Nightshade, and I hit myself to finish myself off. But in the next battle, I just get a better damage roll with Drill Peck one-shotting her final Gengar. Lance is next. I'm gonna set up on Gyarados. 1 Meditate, it hits me with Hydro Pump. 2 Meditates, it hits me with Hyper Beam. I can set up a third from here, and now I can just sweep his team. Mega Kick one-shots it. I have Thunderous Kicks for the Dragonairs and Aerodactyl, and Mega Kick for the Dragonite. I'm going to be jumping right into this champion fight. Thunderous Kick is able to one-shot his lead Pidgeot as Drill Peck cleans up Alakazam. Against Rhydon, I'm going to set up 3 Meditates. It does badge boost me some going for Leer, but then it chips me down a bit with Fury Attack before I knock it out with Thunderous Kick. We level up going into Exeggutor, but it doesn't matter because we still have our attack boost. Drill Peck one-shots the Coconut Pokemon. He sends out Gyarados next, which falls to a single Mega Kick. Last is Charizard. I kinda wish I chose the Blastoise team because it does have Blizzard, and Mega Kick is able to one-shot it. Zapdos finishes the run, and it didn't struggle at all in the league, just some bad luck on Agatha. And part of me wishes I did choose the Blastoise team for the champion because then I would have a bit of a fair comparison for each bird, because both Articuno and Moltres win against the Blastoise team. As far as our big bird on steroids, level 58 with a final in-game time of 2 hours and 48 minutes. And I will admit, am I a little disappointed in that time? Yes. If I were to do this again, do I think I could get a better time? Also yes. Am I going to be revisiting this run within the year? Maybe. Perhaps I'll stream the redo, but for now, I need to get to work on Moltres' video, which will be out this time next week. For anybody that's a fan of the normal fire flying type, you know how terrible it is in Kanto. Get ready to be excited by its dark flying counterpart. I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care, everybody.